Hi guys, Beno here. So finally we got the V4 changes for Honga Star L 4.4 beta and we got some crazy changes, mainly Himeko Nova and Gilga getting nerfed, but yeah, Himeko is getting annihilated by the way in V4. Also Rin got a slight buff and yeah, let's talk about it. Starting with Himeko Nova, her ultimate damage went from 762% and her SG damage went from 300% to 252% and the AoE damage went from 100% to 80%. So her ultimate damage overall got a huge nerf throughout. And now for her assist skill, crit damage, it went from 100% to just 80% now. And the energy she gets from assist skill from allies went from 10 to 4%. That's a huge nerf, by the way. That energy, that's gonna be annoying, especially when you're doing rotations now. And now for assist skill ally trigger, damage went from 200% on AoE and bounce went to 30%. So it went from that to 160, 24 respectively. So yeah, allies assist skill damage went down. And for assist skill, Himeko's damage also went down. It went down from 250 plus 40 to 232 respectively. So yeah, her assist skill damage for allies and herself also went down. Again, overall damage reduction on her ultimate and her assist skills on both allies and herself. And now for the trace additional bounce, it went from 40% to 30%. Again, a little bit more of what you call it, damage reduction. So yeah, she's getting nerfed in damage in every source, ultimates, assist skill, it doesn't matter. She's getting reduced damage everywhere. Now her M6 assist skill damage also went from 100% to 60%, more multiplied notes. And her M6 ultimate additional damage also went from 240 to 160%. So as you can see, in overall, in V4, Himeko got a huge multiplier nerfs. Is it on the same level as Ashwell? I have no idea. Is it a little bit unfortunate? I think Himeko was a little bit too strong, but I think these changes were a little bit too drastic. Especially the energy change, in my opinion, was a little bit too harsh. Like that energy is gonna suck a lot more than these multiple changes, in my opinion. Because now you're not gonna get consistent ulti, trust me. And Himeko's main damage is still her ultimate, so yeah, that is gonna hurt. And I know some people will be like, oh well, Himeko got nerfed, so the HP inflation is gonna be low. I don't think so. Even if Himeko got nerfed to the wire, the HP inflation will be there, power creep will be existing. So yeah, she got nerfed, but I was expecting a slight nerf, but not like this much amount. But yeah, she was at the receiving end of the V3, I mean V4 curse this time. Not expecting, but okay. Hopefully they balance the game around it though now and not increase the HP inflation. Now they nerfed her, so hopefully that's the thing. But knowing Honkai Star Rails too well, Hoyo well, I don't think that's gonna happen. Now for Rin changes, Rin got her skill multipliers back. It went from 160 to 180. Her enhanced skill per hit damage went from 80 to 90%, and her trace respan went from 10 to 15%. So overall, what they did with Rin is they just give her V1 damage back and give her a 15 respan over 20 defense. So I think Rin is the same because I think 15 respan is almost equal to 20 defense down. I think I could be wrong, but at low investment, I think it should be almost the same value. But if you go for Eidolons, maybe it's not. But overall, I'm okay with Rin changes. I don't think they could have done much with the Rin anyway. So, hey-ho. Now for Gilga changes, and yeah, they nerfed Gilga. I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but I'm so pissed mad. So the thing they did with Gilga is, Gilgamesh, he does not get... getting interest no longer grants him immediate action. Instead, each interest gives him 10 speed, and trust me, this is bullshit. 10 speed for each stack of interest is like whatever when you can immediately get the flipping action. Immediate action is always better than speed, in my opinion, and yes, this is a pretty decent nerf. Considering Gilga Saber joint attack was already garbage, so Yahoo, and they did not fix it on V4 too, so the joint attack is still, yeah, you need 8 hit from both Gilga and Saber. Now because of the speed buff, it's I guess you could say it's a little bit easy to do, but I still don't think it's a buff. I think it's still a nerf in my opinion. Now for his skill, now clears all interest. So when you're using Gilga's skill, it will clear all of his interest. Again, I don't know how this is gonna work. Probably a nerf, but I'm not sure. I had to see the gameplay. And now for his attack crit damage conversion to team, is now 30% plus energy exceeding 140. So yeah, this is like whatever in my, it's just a change. Now for his E1 change, E1 energy regeneration went from 60% to 40%, so that's a nerf on E1. His E2 interest generation from the start of battle went from 8 to 5, and his additional interest from alt went from 3 to 5%. I mean 3 to 5. Why am I saying 5%? I'm so stupid. And now for his E6 ultimate bounce damage went from 30% to 80%. So if you get E6 Gilga, he's going to do a lot more damage. And his max golden rule went from 6 to 3. Also, its golden rule no longer activates ultimate. Instead, it consumes during ultimate. Each consume increase the alt crit damage by 100%. So that's the E6 change. So if you get E6, well, voila. Now for Himeko Nova signature change. Himeko Nova defense ignore went from 20% to 32%, so pretty cool. But assist skill and ultimate damage per stack went from 24 to 20%. And if I remember, it stacks up to 4 times or something like that. So was it 4 times or is it 3 times? I think it was like 4 times. So yeah, I think Himeko Nova Sig, I think it got buffed. I mean, 12% defense ignore is a lot considering the only other source, I don't think there's any defense reduction source from the team. I don't think Wealth gives defense reduction. I think it's like vulnerability and rustband. So I think that's a pretty decent buff for the Sig. Now for Rain signature, the skill damage went from 60% to 72%. So it's like a buff. So yeah, that's it. That's all the changes on V4. Overall, my thoughts, Himeko Nova got nerfed. I like a lot, significantly got nerfed. Gilga changes, I think it's a nerf, but because Saber's joint attack is a thing, so I don't know if the synergy with joint attack got better because of the speed. Because Gilga can now be really fast and maybe run a speed boots because of the changes. Right now, he doesn't get action advance. I think so. You'll probably run Gilga with speed boost now and just try to get as many turns for Saber maybe, so she can get the ultimate spam. But again, we need to wait for some gameplay to evaluate that. He already got a pretty solid multipliers from V3, so maybe you can run speed boots Gilga with decent crit ratio, and with the changes he will be super fast and he can get multiple turns, so maybe you can get joint attacks with Saber a lot frequently, because again they did not change the requirement. It's still like 8 hits from both Saber and Gilga, so we have to wait and see on Gilga gameplay. But overall, I think Gilga himself got a nerf, but his synergy with Saber might be decent. But again, like I said, we have to probably wait for the gameplay to get a definite idea on the changes. But overall, I don't know, man, because the HP inflation and power creep still exist, and Himeko getting nerfed, considering how cheap her team was, a little bit of a sad thing, but she was like out damaging every single DPS in the game. So maybe I will wait for the gameplay to see how hard this nerf is, because it's a nerf. It's like a huge nerf throughout her kit. Like it's like big multiplier changes on her ultimate and assist skill. And it also affected her bounce damage, so her single target damage also got affected with that. So overall, we have to see and wait and see how Himeko is gonna be at V4. Also, there will be a V5 in another 2 or 3 days, so there could be some more changes, maybe, who knows. But we had to wait and see for that too. Overall, V4 had some huge changes, and I guess I had to wait and see for my opinion. But Archer is still Archer, and he technically got buffed again. So hey, if you're Archer main, well, you're lucky, I guess. So yeah, that's it for today, guys, and have a great day. Bye.